Ila excuse me for my accent, Larry's mother, is begin the foundations of this museum. I don't know if I'm the person to carry it all the way to the end, but I think I can begin it. And one of the ideas was to perhaps do an exhibition, a small exhibition in London where I am, to let people know that this museum is coming into being at some point. And also to talk to other friends in museums to give me expertise to go further. And I have friends in the museum world who would be very helpful in thinking about how to make this museum. And so I'm thinking maybe in 6 or 7 months, maybe a little longer, we have our first small exhibition in London, which perhaps, Your Majesty, can be transmitted by video to Oyo so that people can see it in the palace and they can have some ideas, feelings about it. Because sometimes I think things begin in the mind and the heart before they begin in the ground, you know. And so you begin in the mind and the heart, I think, and then the ground comes next. So I think in the next 8 months, just thinking and talking and planning, we may be able in the spring to do something in London, which then can be shown maybe at the palace for you, so that you can see an idea and have a feeling about it, and can tell us your thoughts and your feelings, and then we can go on to the next step if this works for you, if this makes sense. And in the meantime, as I say, I will be doing a lot of research, a lot of thinking, a lot of seeing how this museum can be 21st century, because we don't want to imitate anyone else, and we don't want to do the things other people have done before. This is going to be all new, and the world is changing so quickly that we have to keep our minds on the future. So I think take the best from the past, but leave the past behind in the sense of the way people have been doing things, and we look forward to the future, because Nigeria is a country of the future. So I'm thinking of how you make everything work, and to make people want to come to the museum. This is the main thing.
Thank you. Well, I would like to extol you, to commend you. This step is very reasonable. If we have an idea in clear terms, like what you have suggested, we buy or key into it, I would appreciate. If I can get time, I will attend that meeting in spring in London. I find time to come. If I not come, Yalejek will be there, but we have to.
Thank you.
Yalejek will be there with you, and whatever you can get on the tape of video, they can be shown in ALAAFIN's palace, in my palace, and people will come. They will better that appreciate what you are doing, and we key into it here to make sure that we campaign very vigorously to let the people know that this is still of the future. It's an innovation that is conceived in your mind. Most of the great things that we have today are conceived in the minds of great people, great women, great men. And if you want to be great, you must be prepared to exert everything to finance the greatness. By the grace of God, we will live up to expectation to make the project a reality in our lifetime. And so that future generation can continue where we left off.
Yes. Thank you so much. And I have to say, Your Majesty, I met so many people from Nigeria recently, and also from Oyo. I'm thinking my ancestors must be from there. You know, we never know as African Americans where we come from, and we probably come from many parts. But the more I look at Nigerian faces, I think there's something there. So maybe I'm being called back to come back.
the Yorubas, the beginning of Yorubas, and he wants to just get some knowledge from you concerning that,
The Yoruba race,
especially.
we live in the southwest of the country in Nigeria. Yoruba was the first people to have an empire, to create a polity, and we took pride in the fact that we are the first to introduce democracy in our system of government. We never borrowed any political system from anybody. The great people of Yoruba race who set up it is one of the greatest empires that ever founded by any African potentate. At the height of the empire dominated all other kingdoms in the west coast of Africa. When the first American traveler to Africa came, he met a democratic system of government, and I can quote him, he said the highest excellence about the best form of government among the wise lies in separation of powers to prevent abuses. He said straight at him, the Yoruba people had studied this out long before the Americans settled in America, and before the Britain got this from Magna Carta. That is, constitutional and cabinet system of government started in Yoruba land long before we came into contact with Europeans. So we ruled that great empire. Roman Empire lasted less than 400 years. Other empires like the British Empire, 350 years. The only empire that lasted for an uninterrupted 600 years, 600 years, was Oyo Empire, headed by the Yoruba people. So we are the first lawyer in Nigeria was a Yoruba man, the first doctor a Yoruba man, the first engineer a Yoruba man. Yoruba have been the first in everything in Nigeria before we are colonized by the British. Before the amalgamation of the North and Southern Protectorate of Nigeria together in 1940, the Yoruba were the first government to introduce television of their own before places like Egypt, France got their television. We invented our own television and it was sold to people. So the Yorubas have always in the forefront scholarships. They are great people, they are good administrators, good travelers. So that is the reason why you have uproar in the political system of Nigeria today, because Yoruba were never under any sovereignty. They have their own independence right from the beginning, and they were ahead of other people in Western education. This is a very brief summary of what Yoruba nation had been.
Thank you, and thank you so much. And I'm going to do more studying
Yes.
and learning more. Your Majesty, when I lived in New York in the 80s, the Yoruba were very important for African Americans then. I think it's still true. And they had, people would sort of put on costumes or clothes that they thought were Yoruba. It was very important for them, for us. So this will enable me now for the next month or so to do closer study on Yoruba with your guidance and with your ideas and thoughts. And I'm going to write something about it as a way to begin, because I am a writer. So I think as a way to begin to write about it, and let's see where things move from there. I have a strong feeling that there will be other people interested in this, and other people who might be Yoruba American or Yoruba British or Yoruba French or Yoruba, who will say, this is what I want to do too, and this is what I will be seeking.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to work collaboration. Now you are a writer, a speaker. We will be able to be happy to exchange documents dating back to centuries. The expert Yoruba in law, in engineering, in so many fields of endeavor, you have excelled and still excel in whatever we lays around building of big cities, then bridges, everything. We did our best to let people know that even without being colonized, we would have been one of the best cities, one of the best cities in the world with our innovation and ingenuity. So we have documents, we can exchange documents which we can work upon to do further research on them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Larry, free education system in Africa, free education from kindergarten to 18 years, free education, free medical service. Tí wọ́n tẹ́ olúmi òṣáájú wá sí àwọn alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ní best stadium tó yẹ pé ìgbà tán ṣe stadium yẹn Jack Solomon tó fẹ́ promote boxing championship ní Nàìjíríà òun ló fún Jack Solomon the British. Yes.
Bọ́ọ̀nì náà ń gbọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ sọ yẹn ó dẹ̀ ní gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ sọ yẹn ni a máa ṣe òun máa ṣe research gidi research ní Bọ́ọ̀nì ó dẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn royal family níbí báyìí wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ dáadáa ojoojúmọ́ dẹ̀ ló máa wà lórí tẹ́lẹ̀ Ọládélé kan lè ṣe research lórí Bọ́ọ̀nì Greer so a lè fún yín ní details yẹn nípa Bọ́ọ̀nì ó ṣe pọ̀ kó ṣe research lórí ẹ̀ dáadáa so ẹ̀yin gan ẹ̀ lè mọ̀ dáadáa ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá ṣiṣẹ́ tó dáa òun mọ̀ yìí ó dáa kẹ́yìn gan mọ̀ alágbára gan níbí báyìí òun dẹ̀ ni ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú Adric Fisher who is the director of the British Museum.
That's right.
So ti British Museum dẹ̀ ní agbára gan in times àti sùúrù. But tabati guru
human culture. So we need sometimes, I think, and work from that space instead of apologizing and being angry and wanting things back all the time. I think we just continue the work of the human race, which I think is what we are doing.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bonnie. Bonnie.
Thank you. And
Yeah, like it.
Be able to praise God Almighty. The assignment, God gave him the vision to continue to serve humanity to the best of our ability, and by the grace of God, God will strengthen him by giving him long life, so that at the end of the days he will be happy that he saw the fruition of our work in our lifetime. By the grace of God.
amen.
Amen.